Check one, two. Hey, there we go. The mic's working. Hi, this is Dan with Avantnovis. Today we're going to be looking at rivers, studying them, and also putting rivers into a large art rage project. First of all, I'd like to thank the patrons that make this possible. Dr. V, Pain of France, Halthernus, the Puppet Master, Disney Reject, and Mr. J. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. Today we're going to be looking a lot at rivers themselves. Right now we've got, hello, Mark. How are you? Good to see you. We are looking at rivers. We're looking at their placements. We're going to study them in depth and how rivers flow and what they kind of do. Right now in Google Earth, we are over in China. First thing we're going to be studying is how rivers flow. This is one of the largest rivers in China right here. And this river pretty much comes out of the Himalaya Mountains in this area. Is that Vietnam? Yes, that is Vietnam. It's not China. My bad. All right. Okay, back to here. So we have rivers flowing downstream, and rivers will take the path of least resistance. At times, though, that resistance is blocked by heavy amounts of debris or heavy amounts of rock and stratus. Down here in this area is one of the coolest examples of what we call bifurcation, which means a river will break upstream. It will break into two different rivers and flow in two different directions. There's a large sediment building, and in this area, there's a large amount of sediment and heavy rock that has split the river in two and gone downstream. Now, this is the exception to the rule, but it does happen. Here's another image of a river, two rivers joining each other. The reason why we're looking at these is we are looking, hey, Northern, how are you? We are looking at the rivers themselves to get an idea of how they move, what they look like, and exactly what they're doing. Now, this guy here is a meandering river, basically a river that goes into a lowland. This one's kind of hard to chart because it like starts up here, or it starts up here, or over here. I'm guessing it's over here. Yeah. And we come downstream. It comes out down here, flows to the sea, goes through mainland China. There we go. A lot of bifurcation happens in southern China. If you take a look at it, you'll get a ton of different little rivers splitting up like crazy. Right there and there. Let's go ahead and look at some of the largest rivers in the world. Let's zip over here to the Amazon. From a pure perspective point of view, the Amazon is a great example of how rivers work. Oh, we got a little bit of a bifurcation right there. Way upstream. No, that's not bifurcation. That's just two rivers coming close to each other. All right. So here's our Amazon. We're just kind of studying that. There's let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major forks in that. And up there. Let's go to the Mississippi River. This one's a little tangly, but it still works. There's Mississippi that goes up here. Or whatever that was. But you can see where people have developed all around that. Same thing with Mississippi. Here's some little rivulets and add-ons to it. Here's the Smoky Mountains. And we're just looking at how those rivers are coming down. And then we're going to copy that. Let's zip over to the largest river in the world. The longest river in the world is this one, of course, the Nile. The headwaters start all the way here around Lake Victoria. They come here, all the way down here, all the way down here, and we come really close to the land there. I kind of like that. So let's remember that. We're going to add that into our maps. The Tigris and the Euphrates. Here, then it gets all muddy because of people, but that's okay. We have the Danube here. Of course, we have this location that apparently I'm not allowed to mention on YouTube because people get butthurt. It's the Ukraine, and I don't care. All right, let's go ahead and let's get started on our map. This map is currently one that I've been making, taking a little while on. We're doing this in Art Rage. And ArtRage is allowing us to create these details like this. So I've gone ahead and detailed the map. We're going to add the river systems into this map now, and then we will go in and do another high detail pass. Now this stream, I usually don't stream on Saturdays. This is kind of the exception. If I get bored, I'll go play Destiny with you guys. So it's pretty much whatever I feel like, and I hope you guys don't mind. So how we're going to do this is we're going to create a stencil or a layer on top of everything, and we are going to be using our pen brush here. Get rid of canvas properties because we don't need that. So these are my settings for my river brush. Just let you guys copy that down. Opacity 100, pressure at 50%, aspect ratio at 100% with anti-aliasing on, smoothing at 4%, taper length at 72%. We're going to turn that taper length down a little bit right now to about 60. And then we're going to jump right in here and get going. Let's start over in this area. Okay. I don't know. Maybe right here. Let's start right here. So we have let's have a river flowing in this area downstream. So we are going to just do rivers. But hey, Mark, Northern, how's your day going, guys? Hope everything is just simpatico. Go ahead and adjust the tablet a little bit. There we go. I want to bump the mic too bad. All right, we're going to start, since we're running on a tapered base, we kind of want to keep pressure at the mouth of the river, and then we want to kind of go like that. So we will knock this down to about a 4. Then we're going to come up here and we're going to start on a river. So we're just going to follow kind of the land here, up here. And that's our first river, just like that. Second river is going to start down here. Press really hard, just come up. We'll have this one of the winding rivers. Oh, Mark, Scott, getting snow. Yeah, we got a ton of snow here, mainly in the mountains. But it's been raining like crazy down in the valleys where I'm at. All right, so we have another river there. Now let's go ahead and we're going to add, pressing lightly, just another little tributary of that river right through there. Have a look at that. Yeah, now let's get even more detailed. Let's get in there and make sure we're... Now, because smoothing is on, it's giving those little dots and stuff like that. But we're going to move that river all the way up there like that. All right. There we go. See, just another little river there. Let's come up over here now and let's do the same thing. Let's start at the headwaters. Like that into our detail. I've got a couple videos on doing the detail of this, but this is just generally how rivers flow. Just nice, starting from where they go to where they came from. I find that that's the easiest and best way to do this. Go. Let's have all these rivers in this area flow down to, oh, messed up. Down into these. Again, the reason I do this is to make sure that my tapering, because it tapers off at one end, looks good there. Now, in this process with ArtRage, what I'm doing, and I'll go through what I'm doing right now. You go to the layer that you've added the rivers on, you right click on that, you select layer content. Once that's selected, you go down into where you want your rivers. In this case right here, just hit delete. And boom, once it updates with me here, don't crash, we have instant rivers. Oh, I had the transparency off. That's okay. We'll take care of that really quick. If it will let me not crash. Because that would be disappointing. Okay, so you basically get the gist of that. So let's go ahead and deselect everything. And we're coming back and we're doing some more rivers. Let's say these rivers flow into each other. So we'll go like that. And we're going to come down to, we'll come down to this lake. Well, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. What if we had this whole range coming down into this? We'll make a delta here. So we'll just start with our first. We'll have another tributary come right here. Iron Pen. Yep, we are looking at rivers in detail. Call this like the master class of rivers. All right, and then over here we will have another river. And again, this one is going to be a meandering river. Just going to follow the contours of the texture that we have put in here. And it is just going to gently glide through these hills. Up into here like this. Down like that. That's perfect. Let's put another little tributary here. Again, pushing very light with the stylus. So we want that taper up into there. There we go. Okay, let's go back up here. Same thing. Let's say we have this plateau region. We're going to come right here. Very delicate. Very delicate. Take your time on rivers. We're going to make this one kind of cool. We're going to come up here into these hills like that. Like that. All right. And then we're going to follow these details up here. Same thing. Oh, no. Let's see. We're going to end. Let's see where we should end this guy. We're going to end it right here. So we're going to come in, making a river valley like we saw on Google Earth. Come around these hills, up into this area. Avoid those. Again, thinking path of least resistance. We're going to come up into these mountain areas. Again, going slow, slow, slow. You don't want to rush rivers. Well, you can, but it don't look good. It don't look good. And up here for tributary. We're going to make this tributary long. It's the headwaters, and then we have another tributary coming down here. And yeah, let's put another guy right there. And like that. That's a big river right there. Same thing right here. Yeah, we start it where we want it to go. And we bring it up to where the headwaters are. Just like again. Yes, it does. It deciding where the path goes makes it a lot easier to do. Let's see, the middle river here. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do is, once we get these rivers placed, I'm going to come into this, and I think we have another river right here. Question is, where does it go? I think that we got a river that comes down as a tributary right down here to this big one. And it is going to come up here first, and we'll make another little tributary off of it. Go, and then a little tributary right here. Not pressing hard at all. It's going to come up here. There we go. We might have to adjust some size of those, but we kind of get that. The tributary right here. But yeah, the texture on this makes it really easy to decide exactly where everything should go. Kind of got this cool little river valley system going on here. Let's kind of come over here. We're fine here. Now this area, since we're in mountains, we're going to create a lot of rivers here. So we're going to start. Now I'm going to kind of follow the land. I'm mainly just going to throw rivers everywhere. Because we'll use these rivers as a modeling probably in the next video or video I make specifically for Art Rage on how I'm getting these texture patterns and stuff like that. It's actually really cool. All right, so they go down into that lake. That's fine. Let's have something. We have this big gash here, so let's make a meandering river that goes to this. Goes to that. There we go. And another couple here, going up into these mountains. And we'll define where these rivers are with more texture a little bit later. And as for questions for this map is actually one of mine. Let's see. Iron Pen, yeah, it has been a while. I've been dealing with some nasty crap. Glad that you are here today. How's this 11 o'clock on Saturdays working for you guys? Okay, just some more rivers. Just along like that. Now, just for reference, I'm going to go back to Google Earth Pro. We are going to look at some of these rivers up in these mountain areas to see how they flow. It looks like they flow down. Let me grab. Looks like these rivers are flowing. Looks like you have this main body of river like this, and then you have all these tributaries flowing in kind of like that in this image. You guys kind of see that? Kind of following the mountains and stuff like that. And we have these really high. Wow, look at these rivers. These are pretty. Wow. Stan, look at those rivers. Sorry, just really impressed by that. See how those rivers define, the mountains are defined by those. Let's go up into Nepal. We have all these lakes and stuff. And we're in India. Same thing here. Yeah, I love that. Same thing here. So let's go ahead and try to copy that. Oh, do I have another copy of Art Rage up? I do. That would explain a couple things. All right, so we have this area. Let's go find a good spot for that. Ooh, like right here. Right, yes. Yes, right here. Okay, so we have our primary river. Let's have this one be a long one. Let's have this one slink all the way up into this area. It makes sense it'd come up here. So let's start here. Okay, we're here. We're having a meandering river all the way up here. Nope, too much meandering. Too much meandering. Cannot stand. Okay. Come all the way up here. And we're just going to come. We'll make the headwaters there. Now we're going to draw our other little rivers. Let's zoom into this location. Going to try and reproduce this effect. So we have like one right here into this mountain area, and then one right here. Let's put another. So a lot of rain off there. Let's do the same thing over here. Let's actually look at, let's go into a place, let's go near the Andes. because we have a large, I want a large mountainous region here. So let's go back to Google Earth and have a look at that. Let's go to the Andes really quick. Down here in southern Chile. A lot of lakes. Oh, here we go. Here's a good spot for it. Okay, looks like it's one or two rivers, but there's a lot of tributaries going into that river. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do that here. So we have one or two rivers, but a lot of tributaries. So let's make our biggest rivers first. We'll create one right here. Follow the contour of the land. It's going to come up over here and up over here. Up over here, there. Okay, let's get our tributaries. Start right there, pressing really lightly. Again, it looks like a lot of tributaries are the answer here. Same thing down here. Again, getting our tributaries into these. Another one down here. It's kind of cool. Make a river that comes into this lake. Now this is getting into the drier section of the map, so we won't go too much farther. Maybe just one. We'll put just one right here in this little. We don't want that guy to be lonely. There, go there. West Africa. Let's have a look at that. Your river in West Africa. This is, oh my goodness, that is. Okay, so that headwater starts right there. Wait a second. Okay, that is, okay, so we have this large river, right? Okay, it appears at first glance to come here, but it also comes into this area. So the question is, where does it start and where does it end? That's some crazy stuff. Sometimes in map making, you get people to say, oh, you're doing rivers wrong, or oh, it's not right, or this and this and that and this. Well, here's a really crazy example of a river that starts like right here, but splits into two different larger rivers, comes down here. Oh, yeah. 1 second here. And that little buddy bifurcates like crazy. Let's go on Google really quick and find it. Yep. That was exactly the one that we are going for. Ha! That is funny. That is cool though. Yeah. So it technically starts, according to that map, it starts over in this area. It's just right in there, and it ends right here. Thank you for bringing that up, Iron Pen. All right, so we will keep that in mind. I like it, though. I like how crazy that is. The river come up here. That's a little too thick. Really light, pressing really, really light. But yeah, to answer that question, this is my map. We're working on a role-playing game. And this is going to be one of the core worlds of it. We're going to make a bunch of them, because that's kind of what I do. Up here. Yeah. If you ever go on forums, like map-making forums, you'll see what I like to term the river police. And their zealous crusade to tell everybody they're doing rivers wrong, but you look at it in real life and they're actually quite different. All right. We got, let's come down here. Oh, no, not that way. Got to start on the tributaries. Actually, let's put this one up here. Make another really light tributary right here in this area, just really light. There we go. This is kind of a cool little river system here. We'll put one right here that goes up to this. There we go. Okay, then this area, let's start. Kind of got this big old canyon thing, so let's go trace that in. The way I make this map is I use stamps, lots and lots of stamps. I first create a texture to it. And I've created my own I think 400 mountain brushes. I just put these on just like that. There we go. That's on a bunch of my older videos. Want to check them out? Just putting down rivers wherever I feel like at this point. Still following the land and the curves and stuff like that. There we go. A lot of rivers. Tech Magic. This one is going to be a mixture of very sword and sandally, but with very hidden magic. So very subtle magic. Think the Michael Moorcock stuff. Or think like, and Michael Moorcock would be a good example of what we're doing here. His Elric series and stuff like that. Very subtle, but very powerful when needed. We're also looking at the whole gimmick of the campaign settings is that this is an era you're entering into a golden age. So all the things in life, you know, in fantasy, everything's been forgotten, or, you know, these ancient technologies have been destroyed. Well, our setting is we wanted to do something quite different. So we said, let's, instead of doing something like, you know, standard fantasy, let's say that the world is entering into its own golden age. And we're right at the cusp of that. That gives the players, and it gives the players a chance to decide the fate of the world instead of reacting to the fate of the world, or things that have gotten by, or things hidden, stuff like that, or baddies coming back. No, we want this the age where the baddies really are. Like it'd be example of, maybe not the best example during the current climate, but in the first age of Tolkien, when Morgoth was rampaging around the world. This is kind of where that would be. If you're going to have empires, highly recommend Hello Future Me's video on them. I will check that out, Iron. I always do like your recommendations. Thank you. Okay, we're back in here. Yeah, we thought that the first airships, sky ships and stuff like that would be appearing. The first, the first really bad guys that are starting to appear and doing bad stuff. Because there's always in fantasy an ancient evil. Well, I wanted to, instead of do an ancient evil, I want to do a current evil that people have to fight against. Like really big bads. And not just, hey, we borrowed somebody again. He's back. Or she's back or it's back. No, I want to be fighting that for the first time. I think that's a lot cooler. But again, that's just me. And that's what we're going for, so. But we're also going to have the different realities open up, different worlds open up, so people can travel to different worlds, and how that interplay, that social political interplay between different worlds would affect the various peoples of the worlds, like dealing with invaders and dealing with others that came to the world and stuff like that. All the way up here with this guy. Gonna come over here with this guy. And we got this really big plane over here. We got this massive plane. The question is, what do we want to do here? This could come down. Got some mountains here. This could be our Nile. This could be our Nile region right here. Let's do that. Let's start. Start all the way down here. Push really hard. Get into these lakes. And like we just saw in our image, here, up in here. Yeah, we got a cool little lake right here. I mean, river. Some river valleys here. Then we'll go in here and we will put some heavy detail into these rivers. Let's come over here and we will have... I'm wondering if it would flow down this way to this. Maybe that's... I think that's a better answer to that question of how this is going to flow. Yeah, exactly. Golden Age, we're going from a sword and sandal. I think there's a couple of more advanced societies that are coming into play. We're going from kind of sword and sandal into a Byzantine, I don't want to say Carthaginian, like Carthage and stuff like that, empire. And let's put our biggest rivers. We're going to go a huge delta right here. So we're going to put our river. It is going to flow all the heck way over here. Come up here. Yeah, that's kind of before I get into the... You see, we've done this guy here. We've got this one done. This is one of our first worlds we're doing. And this is called Mundus. And there's a gate to this world that we're doing right now. Mundus has been all fleshed out, and we're currently, I think we got like a 200-page document on the cultures and everything else there. So that's fun. And then we have to make another world, because that's one of the big premises, that there's different worlds going on. Yeah, we would do a river valley here. We'd start in the prehistory and make our big kingdoms right next to river valleys. Like this one here. This is a huge river valley. Oops, let's zoom in here. Let's get a idea of what's going on. Some tributaries going up here. Oh, it looks like I goofed right here, so let's go ahead and fix that really quick. Very lightly. Very lightly. There we go. There we go. All right, we're up here. We're going to come down here. Nice meandering swamp-like river here. But yeah, basically this river valley, if you were the controlling force in this river valley, you could pretty much own the central world just by the amount of water and rivers available to you. We've got a canyon right there. Let's use that. Tributary right there. Yeah, I was thinking that this area up here would be more Mediterranean. And the people, you have the river valley here, and you have another river valley that's in this area. And these two areas were like neighboring civilizations. Because the best civilizations, well, excuse me, not the best, but the ones that held the longest were those that in close proximity to each other. It's the whole competition makes great neighbors kind of thing. But kind of want it very Mediterranean, very warm up into this area. This area has actually kind of gone a little to the hot side of things. These big mountains here, so let's go ahead and utilize them. We'll have another river kind of coming here. Let's have this river start there. Have a Nile thing going here. Not too big. Yep, trading competition. It's argued in a couple historical books that I've recently read about the Cold War, how that shaped the early 21st century, the Cold War and the competition with the Eastern Bloc and stuff like that. There we go. Let's get some more rivers in this area. Looks like we have a beautiful little bay here. Just kind of feeling where they are on the map. We'll go back in and add some more detail to enhance the rivers. Oh, it's almost been an hour. Good grief. Stuff like that. Iron Pen. A lot of towns came together by necessity, and the climate can be a trigger, but anything from flooding to the type of crop growth there could be influence towns and constellations. Yeah. We could, usually when I world build, let me pull up a document that this is kind of how I world build. Let me just get this little river system in. All right. Let me just grab this really quick. All right. So this is, let me, don't know if it'll show everything. So these are the different areas of the world of Mundus that we've been using. I break everything down once I get the map created. I cut it up into regions, and then I make larger areas that in those regions. These are all my language and name conventions and stuff like that for this. And again, this is just a Google Doc sheet, stuff like that. The next thing I do is a prehistory. And that's what this is. It shows each individual region. And then it goes into the different details of what happened in those regions. Flow of people, big specific things. And then I, of course, give a timeline and stuff like that. And then this is the newer history or the current history. And again, I divided this into 10 different regions. Well, yeah, 10 different regions. And this is the peoples and where they moved and what happened and everything else. So this is how I start once I have the map done with world building. And then I go into each area, label everything up, keep my history. This is my trade sheet. Then I go into each region, divide it into little pieces like this, add where the cities are based on everything else. And then I go into what the cities look like, some art that an AI helped me do to get done to get the feels. And then I just, in this map, there's 21 different areas. Excuse me, 25 different regions that have been created in this map. Currently, the Patreons have access to all of this. I kind of put the beta guide up for everybody there. Yeah, thanks, Mark. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. So this one, what will happen in the next, it'll take me about a week and a half to 2 weeks to get this map where I want it. And then as I develop the world, I'll come back and add and color in little features. I'll color in things that make more sense. Just kind of a long process. Mundus took me, what with medical conditions and other things, about 6 months to do in total to get that all done. But we're currently working on the history and back history. There's another, let me find it. Let's see. This is the current regions that we have filled. Here's our history again. We have the regions, and then this is like pages and pages of detailed information about the areas. Same thing here. Blah, 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 blah. Each one of these is like, if I were to open it, it's a couple pages. I keep it in an Excel document so I can transfer it. But this right here is like 6 pages for each one of these. So 25 into 6, 12 is 150-ish pages or like that. Yeah, no, I'm glad. Sorry you got tired of it. I definitely, it is that burnout you feel. That is a real and crazy thing that goes on with world building. You just get so deep into it and then you just get tired. And the world for the role-playing game's been, it's been an effort. It's been an effort to do, because currently I've written, almost 300 pages of game stuff and other things. And there are times I just wanted to give up, just throw in the towel and just say, I can't do this and stuff like that. But I watched a video about Stephen King and George Martin, the guy that did Game of Thrones, talking to each other of their creative process. And the thing that struck me the most is how Stephen King does stuff. And his way of doing stuff is he designates a certain number of hours in a day just to write. He has 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And he just writes during those during those times. Now, it doesn't seem like 5 hours a day, that's not much. But since he's so dedicated to doing that, he doesn't slack. He doesn't let hours drop. He just keeps on going and going. And I watched that. I was like, you know what? I can put like 2 hours aside or 3 hours aside to do that. I can, that's like a couple episodes on TV. And I rather do something like this than watch TV. So that's just kind of what I've done with world building and map making. Yeah, it's good. Oh, I'm sorry there, Iron. What are you using for your map making? That is rough. I had to upgrade my computer last year. Yeah, I love WonderDraft. But yeah, it can. I'm running 36 meg on an i9 with a 36 on an i9 with, and I know it doesn't use the GPU, which I wish it would, but it bogs for me too. So I feel you there, buddy. And that is so frustrating. Maybe I can see if they have performance hacks with WonderDraft to see if we can help you there. That's something you'd be interested in. Lots of rivers. But again, this is super detailed. And that is what we want. Got all these rivers here. We'll just put them into place. Here, rivers up in this area. And we're getting a lot done. We are getting a lot done today. No, but I usually keep my computers for years and years and years. I don't, the upgrading every like 3 years, I have a problem with that because money's tight and you have to be responsible with it. Okay, let's make this. This is a really interesting area because we have this crescent formation and we have this area here. So let's go ahead in this area and make our rivers first. There we go. There's a cool little land here. I like this place. I like this a lot. Right, some more rivers. I'm going to make a bifurcation right here. Haha! Remember, there was an interview with Matt Mercer from Roll20, and someone asked him how does he go about making his map process, and he says, I made a map, it was great, I really liked it. Then a bunch of people online told me it was wrong. And that really stuck in my craw. I was like, you know what? People don't get to do that. It's like the argument of pineapple on pizza. Should pineapple be on pizza? Well, it depends on who bought the pizza, and there's your answer. If the person that bought the pizza wants pineapple on their pizza, well, pineapple should be on their pizza. And with map making, I kind of feel the same way. If you're the author of the map, then the map should be done your way and not at the whims of the internet. So again, that's just my 2 cents. 2 cents from Dan. What grinds my gears? Pizza arguments. we go. Getting my rivers in. Yeah, if you have magic, magic does magic things. Exactly. And if you have magic, the first thing you're going to do is improve your population in one way or another. If you have the like reality altering abilities, yeah, you're gonna improve people's life. The government's going to get a hold of that, and they're going to use that however they can to create civic works, to create works that would benefit the population, would increase food growth. Something on my maps that I do is there's always like some type of scrying spell, and if I was a magic user or a powerful or individual that could see distant lands and stuff like that, first thing I do is like, hey, what does it look like where I'm at, and shoot that scrying thing into space and look down on your world and have detailed maps like these. That's kind of my approach to magic map making. And I think that's very something people really need to consider a little bit. Well, they can do what they want, but with what I'm doing and where I'm going with it and my creations, that's kind of my philosophy. Again, pineapple pizza, people can do what they want. A lot of our language, the map making language that exists that people rely so much on is, of course, from Tokens and the Sons, Christopher Tokens maps that they did. I know that is we look at those maps and we say, hey, this is the map language that we're all going to use. This is when we look at fantasy maps, this is how they should look. And if you want to get nitty gritty about it, if you want to get really picky, there's stuff on those maps that would not really be on a realistic map. Best example is Mirkwood. Mirkwood, with those mountains, how big they were, the Stony Mountains or whatever, you'd have that huge rain shadow, and Mirkwood would be in a completely different place. And yes, you could say magic, but again, that's a lot of magic making a forest that no one's in. Well, except Barad-dûn. But again, it goes to a question of, is that language that we're using, that symbolism, is that the best way to represent the maps we're making? In my personal opinion, yes, there is a value. There's a great amount of value with that. But at the same time, that value has to be replaced, and a question needs to be asked, well, are we going for realism, or are we telling a story? My 2 cents is it needs to be a mixture of both. A story needs to be told with a map, but at the same time, there needs to be a realism that helps support that story. And it's like the question of a design versus something that is artistic. Where does one begin and the other stop? Well, good design leads to my personal feeling that when it comes to design, when it comes to creation and stuff, good design and good creation will always lead to good art. Just because of the form and function of the piece. A good example of this is like works that are civic works, like piping and water regulation and stuff like that. Well, it's boring on paper, but when you look at what engineers have created, these vast networks, it's absolutely beautiful. And that goes towards my 2 cents on design and how design leads to good art. And the same thing's true with maps. A good design, a good realistic design will further advance a magical or a fantasy world due to the fact that you have a combination of realistic nature versus something someone just drew to make something. But that's my philosophy. Jordan, Wheel of Time, great map, told a great story. I don't like some of the choices in it because it doesn't make sense to me why it's there, because it's magic. But however, it told such a wondrous story that I absolutely adored it. There, there, there. Let's come up here, give some more. Anyways, that's my yes, land as they say it. And that's the question of Iron Pen brought up something. It's the land as they see it versus what it really is. And that's a combination of both is very important. Now, the maps I'm doing in this, I strive for realism. I'm striving to produce the things I'm seeing in nature onto something like this, and that's a really detailed approach. On my Wonder Draft maps, that's more of how the people see it and kind of what's there. And it goes back to that language that we're using. Are we telling a story? Are we telling, what are we trying to convey here? What language are we trying to express in what we do? And in this particular case, I am trying to express realism and a ridiculous amount of detail. Some of these high detail maps, like this one, will take me almost 6 months for me to be happy with it, which is a ridiculous amount of time. But that's me going back every day, working on another map, coming back and tweaking one or two things. Something that you have to do is, if you're working on a world or world building, you have to put it down for a little bit and come back to it, because we all get caught up in the details a lot, and at times that takes away from the actual world building itself. I had a good friend who worked with an artist, and the artist was doing this highly detailed horse. Oh, Iron Pen says it's really interesting. They have a medieval Chinese map that has like the whole map is China with this really dinky Africa in the corner, which is quite interesting. Yeah, and that goes back to the language. That goes back to the language that the people are using. I mean, the question is, oh, where's this place? Oh, it's over here. Okay, that's cool. Well, I need to find this river route so I can get my goods from point A to point B. Right. Another one right here that I like it. I like it a lot. We're gonna go here. Come down here. Oh, nope, not like that. And right in this area. Okay. Come down in here. A huge, oh, we're going to make this a giant river. Check this action out. Woo! That is definitely the biggest river we've done. We'll make the little tributaries. Route this. A lot of maps I've done for books, going back to this language, the author has wanted certain things. Like they want it to look like a medieval map. Or they want it to look like something that is, a high fantasy map is the best way to describe them. You basically take Token and use that as a reference. Do a lot of maps for a lot of indie artists. There we go. Down through here. Another tributary right here. Tributary right through here. And I'll probably go back and look at each one of these rivers to make sure they're connecting right. You'd have this secluded kingdom right up in this area. That'd be kind of cool. There we go. Oh, I'm missing some areas. Yeah, we got to do up here. We got to do up here, but I'm happy with that. I'm really happy. So if we were to, let's go ahead and we're going to save this, but we save stuff in Art Rage a little bit different. First of all, we hide pretty much everything. And then we turn off we go to canvas settings. We turn off the lighting. And then we're just going to wait. We're working on a map right now that's 36 inches by 24 inches with a DPI of 600. So you can blow that up to about 6 feet by 8 feet and have 100% resolution. So we want to try to save as much. We want to save it a certain way so it works. All right. Then I'll show you the whole process here. We'll reveal stuff. Well, let's not reveal that layer. Let's hide that layer. We have this layer here. We're going to go to this layer, right click on it, go to select layer contents. Wait a while, then go back to this layer, unlock it. And just hit delete. Go to our color layer, show it. And hit delete again. Then hit Control D to unselect everything. Wait a few seconds. Then turn the lighting on. And that, as you can see, is how we get our rivers in place. We'll turn on the actual color behind the rivers. And that way they're not standing out. Next thing I do with rivers is we go into our presets. We go into what we call harsh chaos. We're going to bring this down to about 50%. Pressure it to half. And then we're just going to run this brush. Wait, we got to lock transparency first. Lock transparency. Then we're gently going to run this brush up the river. Do you see how that's creating a little depth there? Let's run our brush up into these rivers. Just like that. And it creates a really cool little valley. Now, at the taper of the river, we don't want to do much. Otherwise, we're going to get in trouble with this. Okay, once we do that, then, this is for all the art rage people. We're going to make another layer. We're going to go into our stamps. These are all the brushes I made. We're going to set this layer so it is on a additive, excuse me, not additive, but a replace. We're going to take our stamps. Let's find some good ones. And we are going to, let's put this about 50. We're going to come in and we're going to add some little inlets here. Nothing too crazy, but just to kind of show that there's more going on than just gotta just hit that just right. There we go. And that's what's giving our super detail. Super detail. Definitely put these big erosion things at the bottom of that. That's good. Something right there. Come on, work with me. Let's not use that. That's kind of cool. Don't like it though. That's what we want right there. There. All right. Let's come down here and add something like that at the bottom. Now the red there is just telling me where this is. This one looks good though, so we'll leave that alone. Okay, gonna turn off our color. Where the red is, you can see is where I've placed some erosion, stuff like that. I would love if they did a strategy game like that. That would just be absolutely amazing. Totally agree with you. Yeah, that's cool. We got this canyon thing going on. So once, this is again for our art rage guys. Once we got these little river paths in, science out there. It's no bueno. Okay, we turn off the color again. We turn off your canvas lighting again. We go into our lowest layer here, our land layer. We select layer contents. It's going to be a while here. Then Control-Shift-I to reverse it. Come down here into our texture layer. We delete whatever's, see how that deleted everything in the rivers and stuff. Okay, we're going to now turn our lighting back on. We're going to merge down. And this is going to take a little bit of time. But that's okay. Okay. Then once we have those in, we see where we need color. We're going to come back and take our brush here. We're going to come in our colors. Where's my color swatches? Where are my color swatches? Color swatches. I have misplaced my color swatches, and I don't know where I placed. There they are. There we go. And we're just going to come back and we are going to color. Oh, Control D. Whoops. We're going to come in and we're going to color these. And you see how that makes just the rivers pop? Don't want to do too much, otherwise they look a little funny. This one kind of looks a little funny, so we're going to come back with our harsh chaos. We're just going to kind of nip in the middle of that, just like that. We kind of create this river valley effect, but with the heavy detail. As such. Same thing here. Really light and easy. We'll recolor that. Go. And put our color layer on top of that. Go. See how that stands out? All right. All right, all right. Wait for Iron Pen to get back. And then I probably will end that. Now we have a little issue right here with this river. Let's go ahead and fix that. So we'll unlock that transparency, come back with our eraser, go 4. And this is really important to do with a high detailed map. We want to make sure that we're Got a little lake thing forming here. So let's keep that going here. Get our color. Same thing. So we have a cool little lake thing going. There we go. Oh, another baddie thing I did right there. The way we can fix this is we go to about a 12 on our glitter brush, go down to our line grouping. Just like that, it's fixed. Got a little cool thing there too. Maybe we need to do it here too, so we'll just add just a touch of nonsense right there. There we go. Just a quick little fix. All right, guys. This is Dan with Avantnovis, and this is kind of how I do my realistic maps. I hope you've enjoyed this. Got some we need to work on. That's fine. That's what we do. Again, little piddly stuff. I'll probably do a little bit more on this map a little later, maybe in another video, but this is how I do rivers. And this has been kind of a diatribe on and kind of a rant on how I do rivers, how I think they should be done, also symbolism and stuff like that. I hope that helps. Hope that helps with your map making. Again, use Google Earth Pro to get an idea of where things are and how things form. Thanks a lot for being here. Again, Dr. V, Paint of France, Alphinius, the Puppet Master, Disney, Mr. J. Mark, it's been a pleasure. Iron Pen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here and helping out. You guys, thank you so much and have a great day.